Well, welcome. This is Peers on Demand, and this is Rocky Romero. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you Jerome Eastman. Jerome, welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Glad to have you here. And well, let's just get to it. I wonder if you could share a little bit about yourself and your business.
Well, about myself, I was raised on a farm in Canada. I went to New York City to go to college. I went to Parsons School of Design for interior design. And when I graduated, I went abroad for a few years, first to Israel and then to Europe. And I worked for our architects in Israel, and I tried to find a great job in Europe, but after a while, it seemed more important to come back here. When I got back, I ended up in Chicago working for an interior design company that did mostly office interiors. And in that company, I did planning for them for a couple of years, which helped them get the clients settled in whatever spaces they were going to be in. And I learned how to plan. I must have planned millions of square feet. And I learned that you don't have a project unless you can get a client settled in a space that works for them. So I learned really early that the key is to get a great plan that makes the client happy. After about 4 years, I went out on my own and did the same thing for a while. And luckily, I got a chance to do a restaurant project. And after that, I liked the restaurant so much, I sort of focused on them. So from the early days, say the early 1980s, I have been doing nothing but restaurants. What I have, and that's, 30 years now plus. I've been in business for 43 years. And I get up every morning looking for something to do. I mean, I enjoy the work. It's gone by really fast, and I'm still working because it's fun. And so anyhow, that's enough about me. What else is coming?
Well, I wonder if you could share who's an ideal client or an ideal connection for you that you'd like to have.
An ideal connection of somebody that I don't have already?
Well, somebody that you like to do business with, or someone that you feel would benefit tremendously by working with you.
Well, I have, in my career, I have started restaurants for 3 clients who were never in the business. The most well-known, perhaps, is Joe Carlucci. And we started, Joe was in the entertainment business before, but he had never had a restaurant. And we did Carlucci on Halsted in Chicago. And that was his first experience of doing this. And he had an outrageous success. And subsequent to that, I think I've done at least 15 or 20 restaurants for Joe. And it has been a really good relationship for both of us. An ideal client is one who knows the business ideally and respects the kind of work I do. I pride myself on having restaurant projects that last. I mean, that typically restaurants go out of business within the first 5 years, and you need about 10 years before you start making money. You start making money at 5, maybe you've paid off all your bills, but you need to run it for longer than that to really make it profitable. And so I basically pride myself on projects that are timeless, that if you go into them 10 years later, they still feel good and you really want to go in. And if they last longer than that, it's even better.
Yes, it is. So you've had so many years of experience. I wonder if you could share a story of someone that received tremendous value by working with you?
Oh, well, I'd like to say they all do. What I have discovered, Joe is certainly one who keeps coming to me for what I do best, and I know he gets tremendous value. I'm still working on projects for him, and it becomes easier when you know the person, because you know what they need and how they like to see it, and you also know how to how to organize their business without having been told. But all businesses, all design experiences are education experiences in most cases, for both of the people, for me and for the client. And I think that the more you have that trust, the better you can do. I mean, the better the result of the restaurant project.
Well, that makes sense to me. So I'm wondering, if someone wanted to work with you or get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Obviously, pick up the phone or send me an email. My direct line is 847-370-2870. That's my cell, and it is mostly the best way to reach me because I'm not always in the office. At one time, I had a larger staff, and now I have a relatively small staff, so I'm out on the street doing the work, and it's best to call me directly on my cell. The email is eastman.j@att.net, and I've had that email for years. I've carried it to different locations, and I try to retain it. If I ever have to change it, I'll have to make a broadcast and let everybody know. But currently, that's my address, eastman.j@att.net.
I also saw your website. Could you share your website for me?
The website is kind of a synopsis of highlights of my better jobs and a quick philosophy lesson on it. And it is eastmandesignstudio.com. So that should get you a quick visual.
Very good. Well, thank you so much, Jerome.